Hello YouTube and welcome to Full Dottle, a channel dedicated to tamping topics such as pipes, tobacco, lore, and more. I am your host, the Bearded Briarman, and without further ado, let's get lit. Welcome back everyone, and on this episode of Full Dottle, I'm going to be doing a quick shout out and then just a rant I have. But first, a little housekeeping. I am smoking my Missouri Meerschaum Country Gentleman, and in it I've got some GL Peace Odyssey. So a quick shout out. If you guys haven't heard of pipe, tobacco, and food, I highly recommend you guys go to their channel, subscribe to them, and just devour all of the content that they have created so far. It is an awesome channel. I thoroughly enjoy it. They pair food with pipe tobaccos and are an absolutely amazing couple. It's a husband and wife team, which we don't see a lot of on the YTPC for whatever reason, but it's just a breath of fresh air. To me, I think they are relationship goals, and I have a blast every time I watch them with their wittiness and their experiences in pairing foods and tobaccos. Please, I will leave a link down in the bucket for anybody who wishes to go directly to their channel so they can check them out. Everybody, go check them out. They deserve so many more subscribers than what they already have. Awesome channel. And now on to the main topic, road rage. The other day I was on my way back from visiting my grandmother. She lives about 30 minutes from me. On my way back, I'm in traffic. And traffic, it wasn't too bad, but there was enough traffic. It was the holiday traffic, 4th of July. It wasn't crazy, but there was a few people out on the road. This one particular area gets kind of congested because there's an interstate that runs through Springdale, and on my way home I go under the overpass in order to get back home. The overpass is the interstate, and at that overpass, right before the overpass, you have people that are exiting the right-hand lane to get on the interstate, and then right past the overpass you have people coming off the interstate entering traffic. So you have a short window there where usually you'll have a break and you'll have a free lane. Well, on my way, I'm remaining in the left-hand lane, and I don't go over the speed limit. I set my cruise control for the speed limit no matter what it is, and for the most part I stay in the right-hand lane except in an incorporated city. And the reason I do that is because when you're within city limits, for the most part, the right-hand lane is utilized for vehicles that are entering and exiting traffic. And so I try to stay out of the right-hand lane because I don't want to be tied up in all that when I can help it. So, on my way back, we're approaching the overpass. Right lane is blocked up because you've got people that are exiting, probably on their travels to celebrate the 4th of July. And in the left-hand lane, it's pretty much a free shot. It's opened up. There aren't any vehicles on there except for one, and I happen to encounter this one. The speed limit where I'm talking about is 45 miles per hour, and this person was doing 35 miles per hour. Generally, when I encounter somebody that's going under the speed limit in the left-hand lane or on a single lane, what I try to do, I try not to ride their tail end, and I don't honk or anything silly like that. I don't flash my lights at you. But what I do try to do, giving the benefit of the doubt, I will, if this were the vehicle, I'll approach quickly and then I back off. And my reasoning for that is not to offend anybody, but I figure sometimes, and I'm guilty of this as well, sometimes you get caught up in the moment. You might be, gazing around at the scenery, you might be in thought, there's no telling what could be occurring. But I've been caught doing it too. I've been under the speed limit, driving, heavy in thought, and didn't realize I was going under the speed limit until I saw somebody approaching. And so when I noticed them in my rear view mirror, I'm like, oh shoot, I either pick up to the speed limit or I move over. So that's my reasoning for a quick approach, and then I back off. All I'm trying to do is let you know, hey, I'm behind you, I'm backing off, I'm right behind you. Maybe you didn't realize you were going under the speed limit. Well, this individual, I did the quick approach and backed off. And they decide they either don't care that they're going under the speed limit or whatever the case may be, but they never picked up their speed. Well, I couldn't simply go around them on the right, or else I would have done so from the very beginning without the quick approach, because if I can pass them, I'm not going to bother with somebody. I don't have time for it. I'm not a big people person, so anytime I can avoid any kind of confrontation or just any kind of dialogue whatsoever, I do. I would have went around them, no problem. Well, this individual, I couldn't go around him because the right-hand lane was bogged down with all the people exiting going on to the interstate. So, as I backed off, I waited until that opening appeared between and under the overpass, between the points where people were exiting and people were entering. As soon as that opened up and gave me an area that I could pass the individual safely, I turned on my blinker and I went around the individual and got back in traffic. As I started to go around them though, this person, for whatever reason, got upset that I was passing somebody going under the speed limit and decided to speed up. I drive a standard, and it's a Jeep, so it's not like a hot rod, but it's a standard, which means I have better control over acceleration and deceleration and gears. So I simply dropped it down into a lower gear, I floored it, and I got around the person because they're still not going the speed limit. They were trying to prevent me from going in front of them, but they weren't doing the speed limit. Kind of a butthole move, but I don't let it get to me. So I got around them. I carry on. The other person is trailing back, so no harm done. I passed him. I didn't try to force him off the road or anything like that, but it offended him, apparently, because as we approached the next stoplight down, I'm waiting at the stoplight, and I'm really not paying attention to my peripherals because I'm just paying attention to what's in front of me. I've got an open road, waiting for the right light to turn green, and then I move on with my way. I've got a 30-minute drive ahead of me. Well, I noticed the person that pulled up beside me was, just about to hit my side mirror, and I look over, and it's the driver that I pass. The driver looks at me, and I've got manual windows. Everything in my vehicle is as non-mechanical as I can get because I'm not a mechanic, and I don't want electronics and stuff like that to have to contend with. I want things that I can easily fix on the fly if I have to. So this person pulls up beside me extremely close and starts to say something. And I can't really hear him. I look over and it kind of takes me aback because I didn't expect it. And I look over and they're just going nuts on me. And I thought, what the heck? So I look at them. I'll wait until they finish, and finally I said, what? And they trying to reprimand me, which I don't do well with. I'm not your son, so don't reprimand me. Anyway, so he's continuing, and finally I said, are you just going to talk or are you going to drive? And the light turns green, and he zooms off. and I remain in the right or in the left-hand lane until after we get past the entering traffic. Turn on my blinker, I get in the right-hand lane to cruise home. And this person was already pretty far behind, so I wasn't worried about anything. You know, I figured it was over. I continue on. Next thing I know, I see this person just hammered down, coming up. But I'm on my left side now because I've moved over to the right. I saw them coming, and as soon as they get eye level with me off to my left-hand side, I look over and I just turn back. I don't make any gestures or anything like that. I just simply look over, I spot him, and I move back. I look back, travel on. Well, he hits it, gets in front of me, and I knew what was going to happen, so I was prepared for it. I had my hand on the gear shift. He slams on the brakes to try to show me. So I just slow down. I never even got close to him when he slammed on his brakes because I knew what was going to happen. I slow down, I put my blinker on, I look in my side mirror to see if I had an open lane. I get off into the left-hand lane, and I wait for just a moment because I didn't know if they were going to try to keep cutting me off, and I'm not going to play that kind of game. So I waited long enough to know if they were going to try to cut me off. He didn't, so I went ahead and pushed I've got a button for cruise control. I just hit the button and it started to pick up speed again. As soon as I got up to the window as I'm passing, as soon as I got eye level with the guy, I see him reach out his window and he gave me the California hello. And in light of what recently happened, I knew I had to de-escalate the situation. So as I get up close to him, he reaches his hand out to give me the California hello. I just dip my hat to him and I give him the thumbs up and I carry on my way. I knew I had to de-escalate the situation, but I knew I had to de-escalate the situation because if I didn't, if this guy forced me to pull over and had to deal with this guy, then my chicken nuggets would have gotten cold, and I just recently bought them. So in light of recent events, I didn't want to stop and let my chicken nuggets get cold, so I de-escalated. That way I could enjoy my chicken nuggets and carry on to my house. Anyway, everybody, that's going to do it for this episode of Full Dottle. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give me the thumbs up, and until the next time we see each other, I bid you farewell and happy piping. Bye, everyone. Don't forget to enlist in the Full Dottle platoon. It's easy. Just click the subscribe button. Also, hit the bell icon to be notified as soon as I upload the next episode.